Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brown Sugar Confessions. How are you doing, guys? You know by now that Brown Sugar Confessions comes live to you every Wednesday night at 11 o'clock, only on Power 1017. And if you miss it, you know you can go to YouTube, right? YouTube, and go to Instagram, and go to Brown Sugar Confessions, and you can catch up on all of the shows that we have done throughout these last six, or now we're going on 7 months. And we want to thank you guys for loving us, for encouraging us, for wanting us to continue to do this. We love you as much as you love us, and thank you from all of the amazing hosts of Brown Sugar Confessions. And we're going to hop right into tonight's show because, as I promised last week, we're going to continue sexual and romantic orientations into this week. If you recall, last week we spoke about 46 different types of romantic, AKA, and sexual orientations. And we're going to continue this tonight. But before we get into this show, let me bring up these beautiful hosts. Miss T, how are you from ATL?
Oh man, if it's not warm this week, it's cold the next, and there's a ton of rain in between, and I want it to be over. At this point, I am ready for the pollination. So I got to try and stock up on all of my allergy medicines now. So I'm ready when it comes, because I promise you, as soon as it stays above 60, 69, 70 degrees, it's flip-flop season. I don't care what nobody says. My toes are out. It doesn't matter whether they're done or not. The toes are out. That's all that matters. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right. You sick of the weather down there, Miss T. I got you, girl. KD, what's happening in Delaware?
Hey. Delaware is, well, it's Delaware. Remember last week we mentioned that, I think it was number 2 in the sexy city. That's the sexiest states.
Yes.
Y'all sexy.
Nothing else better to do. If it's not beach season, there's nothing else here to do in Delaware.
Dang.
So just laying low, preparing for the spring season. It's about to be like festival season in our dance community that we are a part of. So I'm just preparing for performances. I've had a few shows that I've ran. So I'm really excited to get started and to do more dancing and to be out and talk to the people with Brown Sugar Confessions. It's just, I'm ready for spring. Every week from this point on, you're going to hear me talk about spring because that's where my brain is at right now.
You know what? That is so true. I think that we're all ready for spring. I'm still in Roatan. I'm still in hot girl summer. Like, look at this complexion. I look like...
Why you gotta remind us?
I don't know if you guys know, but Dr. Val is definitely a few shades lighter than I am, and I think she's about my complexion right now. So she's definitely all of the sun.
Got like the nice bronze going.
I do, girl. You can't tell me nothing. I look like a little roasted coconut. I don't know what to do with my little self. I'm just loving this. So I'm still having hot girl summer down here, but I'll be up there with you, KD, next week back in Delaware for a few days. And we're the second, what are we ranked? The second state of the most beautiful people or sexiest people or something
sexiest
like
people, according to Love and Honey.
We'll take it. We take it. Either we're beaching or we're like being real sexy. Okay, all right, Delaware, do yourself. All right, Treese, what's going on with you, beautiful, from gorgeous New York?
Look, right now, I'm not usually a spring person, but I really feel like after the last 2 years, I need the segue in between winter and summer just to sit with myself. So I am manifesting, journaling, and healing and cutting cords with stuff that just it don't work for me no more. So that's what I've been doing.
I need some of that.
Look, when we tell you like, yo, there's sometimes it's time to let some stuff go, you don't realize how much it's killing you because that cord is like right there. But when you let go, you're just like, oh, I can breathe again. So this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm
right, girl. All right, we need to have a show about manifestation and cord cutting, because a lot of people probably don't even know what we're talking about. So we're going to talk about that one day. Maybe we'll make it as one of our hot topics.
We need to do that in April because it's the beginning of the astrological new year.
Yeah.
Y'all know too much for me. Sound like a plan. Put it in the script there, Miss T. All right.
Noted.
So I'm going to jump right into it because I know we got a lot of terms to get to today, because if y'all watch last week's show, then y'all already know. We thinking and trying to come up with what it's about. So look, we're going to get into it. And first, I want to call up Texas and Florida.
Texas and Florida.
What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So
it's always crazy if it's Texas and Florida involved.
Always.
I feel like Florida man is now just Florida. That's what I feel like. It's no longer Florida man. It's just, you just like, oh, where'd it happen? Florida. Well, of course.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So while this law bill did not get passed, I just want to say they really had the audacity.
Okay.
They really had the audacity in Florida. So there was a bill that was due to be passed. It was called the Florida Don't Say Gay Bill, a new amendment that would allow schools to out students' sexual orientation. Like they were gonna seriously give, if they heard a student at the school, right, talking about their sexual orientation, they're gonna pull you in the office and say, you got like a couple of weeks to tell your parents, or we're gonna tell them. One, do you know how many children would get unalived?
Yeah, they get taken off the census for that, especially in the Deep South, unfortunately.
And I'm gonna be honest to say this, that if Florida had passed this, I would wholeheartedly stand behind any family that sued the school for causing that kind of mental distress. And let's not forget about it. This is a child.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is a child, and you don't have to come out. Everybody has the right. Should you choose to stay in the closet, if that's what you want to do, then that is your right. Remember, we're not fighting for everyone to come out of the closet. What we're fighting for is you to be who you are, whether you're in or out, and that's it.
Right. Celebrate your sexual orientation.
Exactly.
And that is absolutely crazy.
That's kind of stressful.
It is very stressful. And so what are they doing? So they're going to out the kid to the parents?
Yes, that is essentially what they would do. They would pull the student in with like a school counselor. Like, let's be honest, these school counselors are not.
They ain't your friend.
They're not coped to do this. Who else are they going to call in? The resource officer? Like, stop it. But they would call them in and say, hey, we've heard this. So we're giving you this amount of time to come out to your parents. Do you know what that does to a child? Now, my children have obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously, my children have come out to me. But here's the thing. I'm one of those parents, I don't really care. As long as you're healthy, as long as you're happy, as long as you're eating, as long as no one is abusing you, do what you do.
Exactly.
But to do that to a child, to force them to make what is equivalent to a mid-adult decision as a child in a place where they literally have no say about their well-being. That is dangerous.
Very.
It is dangerous. That is dangerous.
That is very dangerous.
And they're trying to pass this bill.
Well, it was like added on as like little ticky-tack stuff, but right now I'm just happy that it's not. Right? But this is the thing, we have to keep an eye on this, because that they had the audacity to even suggest this.
Right.
It shows you
what we need.
It's just wild. It hurts my feelings, and it's just wild to me.
Yeah.
This is why we need parents and to stay informed what's going on in your school district.
Yeah.
You need to really not just assume and take for granted that your child's rights are being protected and honored. Get involved in the system and know what your school system stands for. And if it doesn't make sense, speak out. That's all I have to say to that one. But I think parents really have to stay informed. We were talking in this episode about sexual orientation, which piggybacks from our last week's episode. And WAS Association, World Association of Sexology, I think they're the ones that came out with this, it's an extensive list of 46 different sexual and romantic orientations that one might find themselves involved in throughout their adulthood. And as I mentioned last week, orientation is fluid. It comes and it goes based upon age and experiences, etc. And to know that where you fit in the broad spectrum of sexual orientation is helpful. You understand that you're normal, that you have your tribe. So that's why these labels have come out. That's why they're important, because everyone wants to feel normal. And what is normal, right?
Normal is relative.
Exactly. So this helps us really understand the orientations that are the most commonly used. There's 46 of them. And I'm not going to front with you, like a lot of them I don't even know. I'm educating myself, as I mentioned, as well as educating you out there. And by the way, we've had so many emails about this show. And thank you for doing it. Keep them coming in this week. I'm not going to read the emails tonight because we have a lot, but keep them coming in to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. And we'll take the time next week when we conclude this show to read all the emails. And as I've mentioned, if you're not sure, if you're struggling with your orientation and you're not really sure, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Valerie@swancenter.com. I am here to be that advocate for you, to be a sounding board, and to help answer your questions. If you're a radio listener, it is absolutely, reach out to me. If you're on YouTube, reach out to me, etc. We're here for you as a team from the hosts of Brown Sugar Confessions. All right, so let's just jump into some of this because we're only on the M's, okay? So we talked about monosexual, we did non. Okay, so omnisexual. Omnisexual. What is
omnisexual?
Yes.
Is this like polysexual?
That's Katie's raising her hands and screaming. What is it, Katie? Is
no,
you?
I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna. Oh. That means that you are all sexual in all ways, and I'm like, right. That's probably me.
Like a unicorn sexual. Okay, omnisexual is similar to pansexual. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, and can be used to describe individuals whose sexuality isn't limited to people of a particular gender, sex, or sexual orientation. So omnisexual. Okay. To me, it's not much different than pansexual.
Right.
And I think we actually talked about that a little bit in the last show. We didn't get to it, but you hear this word a lot, especially on TikTok. I don't hear omnisexual on TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, I'm gonna go into more of these. But pansexual, let's talk about it. Pansexual is a term that's used to describe individuals who can experience sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction to any person, regardless of that person's gender, sex, or sexuality. That is a pansexual. And haven't some stars come out as pansexual, or what we consider stars?
Janelle Monáe did, I believe.
Okay, I knew there was someone that I knew quite well, or as a pansexual. So that individual can have romantic or emotional attraction to any person, regardless of that person's gender, sex, or sexuality. That is a pansexual. And that word is being thrown around a lot. It's probably one that you hear a lot from millennials that talk about their pansexual. I hear that quite a bit. All right. Polysexual. What is a polysexual person?
So so omnisexual, pansexual, and polysexual are not the same.
Correct.
Okay, because I was thinking in my head, I was thinking that omnisexual and polysexual were probably going to be the same as pansexual, but apparently they're not. So I don't know what polysexual is then, because I thought they were all the same.
Okay, so polysexual is a term that's used to describe individuals with a sexual orientation that involves sexual or romantic attraction to people with various genders. Polysexual orientations include bisexuality, pansexuality, omnisexuality, queer, and among others. So it includes all of those things into polysexual. So one could actually say that they are polysexual, and it includes, and there's a polysexual to me is the umbrella. And then
I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
Because, okay, and I think my main confusion comes between the difference between bisexual, omnisexual, pansexual. Mm-hmm. Because the way they made it sound is that bisexual is, like, in my head, bisexual means you like at least two genders. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So if anybody who's out there who's bi, poly, omni, whatever, set a girl straight. But I'm thinking bisexual is two genders that you like. And pansexual is everybody. I don't know where omnisexual falls in. And I definitely don't know what polysexual means if polysexual incorporates everything.
Yeah, to me, what I took it to mean is that polysexual is the umbrella that holds the container for bisexuality, pansexuality, and omnisexuality. So it's just the big umbrella of all of those sexualities that they put under. They're all called polysexual. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
All right, we're gonna skip it. We're gonna keep moving on because it is a lot.
What? So it's almost like when people say they are, because if you say you're poly, in terms, let's get out of just the sexual side of it. If you're like polygamous, polygynous, polyamorous, that would all fall under poly, even though there's different ways of being under all of those things. So it's like you have a big gigantic umbrella of poly, but under poly, you can be polygynous, polygamous, polyamorous, poly, all the other things. So I think it's saying this is for people, this is the umbrella for people who are into more than one. It's like poly, meaning more than one, right? So if you fall under this umbrella, you could be bisexual, you could be pansexual, you could be
I think I get it.
Things, as long as they're multiple, then you could fall under the.
So is this where like the monosexuality ones, where you're heterosexual, gay, lesbian, whatever, they have their own umbrella? And then the polysexuals have their own umbrella.
Right. Yes. That's how I'm taking that to me. Now, if you're out there and you're a sexual orientation expert, where this is something you study, come on here and tell us homegirl's wrong, because we could be all wrong. Because I find this quite interesting that there's so much. 46 different identified types of romantic and orientations of our sexuality. It's quite fascinating. All right, let's go on. So, all right, here's another one. Homosexual.
Wait, you said homosexual, right?
No, homo, P-O-M-O, sexual.
Like Pomeranian?
I thought you said hobosexual, and I was like, I know what
that is. Hold on. We did finally make it into the book. All right.
Think of the Latin, like I have no idea what the Latin base of this is.
Pomegranates?
Figure out what this is.
I don't know what a pomegranate.
I love pomegranates. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I love them things.
Is it pomosexual or like?
Nah, she said P-O-M-O. That's definitely pomegranates or Pomeranians. One of the two.
It's a term used to refer to those who reject sexuality labels or don't identify with any of them.
Oh, well, dang.
Then.
Wrong on all occasions.
On all occasions. So I think what is my, like, I'm not a millennial. What do you call me? Like geriatric? I think
You are you are
I'm a geriatric
God
millennial.
dang it.
I'm a geriatric.
Oh my God.
You're somewhere between.
You're like somewhere between Gen X and like the great generation
No,
or
not
baby
the great.
boomer.
It would be a baby boomer. She's
But
somewhere
you're like,
between
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a baby boomer. So
Yeah,
I think
you're
a lot
young
of
baby
Yeah, you're a
I
baby
think
boomer.
a lot of baby boomers. A lot of baby boomers, I think, would be considered homosexual. They reject these sexuality labels.
Oh yeah, they're like, no, you're either this or this. I don't understand what the problem
You're
is.
straight or you're bi or you're
You're like, you're straight or you're gay. Make up your mind. Like, come on, guys. There's a lot. There's like a whole gray area between those two.
Yeah. So I think that refers to us older ones. All right. Here is, I have to ask you guys. All right, we're gonna have some fun here. I love this show, by the way. So what is passing? In the world of orientation and sexuality, what does passing mean?
Make it till you make it.
No, it just means you look, for me, if you say you're passing, somebody would see you and assume you're cis.
Ah, very got it, Tree. Yes. The act of being perceived as straight or cisgender can be a source of discomfort and discrimination for some in the LGBTQIA plus community. Mm-hmm. That is what passing is in the sexual orientation role.
I guess I get it. Like, you don't want to look cisgender or cishet. So how do you look as, like, I don't know. I'm a little confused.
I think what it's talking about is if you are, you're perceived as being straight.
Straight, yeah.
But you're really not.
So like you can just be you and everybody thinks you're straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I go out, people assume like, oh, you're straight. And then a woman will hit on me and I'll be like, hey, are you a lesbian? And she'll be like, hey, are you a lesbian? And we're like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I'm so confused. So I'm like, you wanna act gay, but what does it mean to act gay or to act lesbian? You know? I thought that was just normal stuff.
I think for some people, especially, let's just say if it's a man who is in a relationship with someone of the or someone who is at least passing of the opposite sex, or vice versa, a woman is with a man, people will assume that either A or B will be straight. But times when they are not, they may just be with someone of the opposite sex by happenstance, and they still have preferences or interests in people of the same sex. So
fair. Okay, I get it.
Be someone who is not, that is part of the LGBTQI plus community, but they're not acknowledged as such, and they may feel ostracized within the community because they are not necessarily visibly in any, and that it doesn't just mean how they appear, but just because they also have a partner that is, you know, of a cis hetero relationship, people are just going to assume, oh, you're straight. And then if you're in a community, they're just like, kind of like, why are you here? So that's
okay,
really
okay,
good.
I see.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, all righty. And I think it's also important to note that some in the LGBTQIA plus community, people have the desire to pass, while others don't have a desire to pass. You have to really remember that. Some people do want to pass, and some don't want to pass. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about passing with, you know, there's passing being, you know, as far as in the African American community, passing white, and there's also passing within your sexual orientation. Okay. So just be mindful of that. All right. Okay. So this is so fascinating though, right? It really gets you, I think, if you really want to have an engaging, fun adult conversation, like have this is so interesting to me. These various sexual orientations. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Well, hold on. Before we keep going, we got to pay some bills.
Oh, snap, we do, so we can come back next week. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely need to come back next week. So guys, everybody, ladies, gents, those who have or haven't decided what you want to be in life, go grab your drinks, go to the potty. We will be back right after this.
Welcome back to Brown Sugar Confessions, everyone. First, I want to say happy 7-month anniversary to all of Brown Sugar Confessions. We worked so hard on this show. Look, the hours we put in is because we love you and we want to see people get better. We want to see people thrive. And I'm just grateful to be surrounded by so many amazing Black women that inspire me to do better, be better, heal, and share alike.
We love you.
We love you.
So, guys, I have some actual good news, especially for people, for individuals who like to kind of indulge and play that involves, back there just a little bit.
Back there?
So, back there. So the FDA has approved for the absolute first time ever. I didn't notice, y'all. I swear I didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever, they are approving 1 male condoms for use for anal sex.
Like 1 condom is the number or 1 condom the brand?
The brand. So
okay.
The brand, the company, because there's only 1 condom and their name is 1. There's only 1. Literally, only 1.
There can be only 1.
Approved for this kind of intercourse. But for the first time ever, they have approved it as safe for the purpose of anal sex. So if you want to indulge in that kind of intercourse, you now, I guess, is it called intercourse in that regard? I could be wrong in the proper.
I mean, you're entering something for a course of time. For a course of time.
You're entering the course.
Yeah.
This one has been approved.
I feel like this is like level advanced course.
Yeah. They have actually proven with scientific backing that their condoms are safe for that kind of use. So that's not to say people weren't using condoms in that regard, but now they actually have FDA approval for that specific use. So this is really good news because you want to make sure that when you are indulging in that kind of intercourse, that you are indeed being safe. It's so very important. So I'm really excited about this. I mean, I'm actually mad at myself that I didn't know that the other kind of condoms were not approved for this in the past, but it's definitely good to know that we now have a condom that can be used if you are going to be having anal sex. So yay, FDA, and yay for one to getting this approved and to getting the appropriate testing to be able to move forward with this FDA approval.
So everybody else got to step their game up. 1, 2, who was the test subjects for this?
I need answers.
Well,
Modern questions deserve answers.
Well, you know what? I think anyone that, that's on the sexual orientation scale or could have been used as the test subjects for that kind of research.
You're right.
What are these condoms made out of? What's different from these condoms versus the latex or the sheepskin what's the difference in this condom? Do you know? Does it say?
To be honest, it does not mention so in this particular article. But for at least in the pictures that they provided, and for everything I see, it looks like it's probably just a regular condom, but I don't know, maybe they have a larger amount of durability than the other ones. I don't know.
I feel like it would have to be durability, but also because FDA is government regulated, they probably have it as public knowledge what the condom is actually made of.
Yeah.
So you can probably find that kind of easy.
Yeah.
If you know where to look.
Able to. Yeah, I'm just curious. It would be nice. Maybe we'll research that as a group and try to find out what they're made out of. And also, you know, you need to, if you're using, what is it called? The one condom?
Mm-hmm.
One. Okay. So if you're using the one condom, because not say one condom, but the one.
Be only one.
Yeah, the only one condom for anal play. What type of lube can you use with this condom? That's
very important. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the thing. They made it durable enough that you can use like your standard lube or any kind of lube. Ooh.
Well, we know that silicone breaks down latex, so you don't use that when you're doing backdoor play. So it'll be really interesting. Maybe we'll do, you know what? We don't know, but this leads us into doing some research for you guys, because this is what we do on Brown Sugar. We uncover some stuff. And so we can confess to you if you're going to use the one condom, like what lube you should be using, because that's a really good question that you guys need to know about if you want to have anal sex. That's
so,
really
i.e., anybody working for one, please reach out to us at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com.
Yeah, we want to know what all about these condoms, what they're made out of, what lube they should use, how much are they? Are they reusable?
Because we know the king of
answer. Wait, what? So I have confirmed that they are a natural rubber latex. So it has a rubber latex sheath. So it's latex. It is latex.
Oh,
it's latex.
It is latex.
So you just got to be careful if you're allergic to latex.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're still going to do some digging because we want to know what.
I got more.
There's more.
Oh,
wait. There's more. You're on this.
So, just a few minutes ago, see, this is the thing when you get a proper computer setup and you can actually see everything, and I could do 16 things at the same time. So the question Ms. T just asked was, well, who was the test subjects? I have answers now. So the authorization was based on a trial of 252 men who had sex with men and 252 men who had sex with women, whereby the rate of condom failure, basically breakage and things like that, they were able to test whether or not it was basically durable, just like I said. So now you know that's who they tested pretty much everybody.
Okay. Fair. I dig it.
I wonder, do they recommend a certain type of food? What type of latex?
They did not get it. Yeah.
So we still need to know the one condom. So we're going to reach out to you so you can give us some answers. Maybe we can get somebody to come on the show and talk about the one lube.
AKA the king of lube.
The king, yes. We
got to bring the king back.
We got to bring the king of lube back. Absolutely. All right. So that's really interesting. Okay. More things we're going to share with you guys that you only get one place. Power 1017 with Brown Sugar Confessions. As we jump back into this list, we're continuing the talk around sexual orientation and knowing that there are 46 different types of identification or orientations that have been identified by WAS. And we are now in the Q's. As I mentioned, we will have this full list for you guys up. So when you go to our Instagram or TikTok, on my TikTok is Dr. Valerie Popple, or if you're on our YouTube, it's Brown Sugar Confessions, and Instagram. But we're going to put this list up for you guys to reference because it might be educational for you and your significant other, and even for your children, as you understand your own sexuality and your own sexual orientation. So we're going to go into Q. So the first one that pops up is queer. I heard that a lot of uh, lesbians don't like the word queer. Have you guys heard that?
I haven't, but I just don't understand where queer falls in the whole scope, because I feel like queer is like a PC term for gay or homosexual, but they don't want to identify as gay or homosexual. And I don't know if that's correct, but that's what it seems like to me.
Right. Well, what do you think, Treese?
I don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing.
So no, nothing from nothing.
I don't know nothing about that, Tia.
All I know is I'm trying to wrap my head around all these new terms, because we've been able to describe what we were before, but there was never a label for it, right?
Right.
So now I'm trying to, there is a name for it. So I have to remember that it's not this, it's omnisexual versus polysexual versus. So I'm gonna have to take a nap.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing.
And listen, if you're but also the other thing is, if you are part of the community and you're learning all these terms, it's do you redefine yourself, or do you stick with what you already know?
Yeah, that's something I'm internally dealing with while we're talking about this. I'm like, well, am I?
Mm-hmm. Am I under the umbrella of this or that? It's a lot to take in, because that's a really good point. Who brought that up? I think it was Tracy. Do you redefine yourself based upon the knowledge that you now are given? How do you really see yourself? Or does it really matter? It really doesn't matter to you. It really doesn't matter to me what label I put on myself personally. But for some, labels are important. Labels can also mean community and support. So it could mean a lot to many different people. And, always on Brown Sugar Confessions, our job is never to judge or to
shame.
Our job is shame anyone. Thank you, Miss T. Our job is really about educating and having fun and talking a lot of smack. But this side of this show has really been about educating, and we're educating ourselves, because as we go through this list, we're not even sure what half of this stuff is, but still, so if you find yourself identifying with this, send us an email and tell us which one you identify with, because out of curiosity, we're just curious. And second, if you think this is just full of crap, send us that email too, because we might agree with you. It's full of crap. Who cares? So, all input is input, right? So let's hear about it. So from what I knew is that queer was a derogatory name, and that it's something that shouldn't be used, which I knew, growing up in the 80s, that, you don't say someone is queer. Now it's part of the umbrella, it's in the umbrella. And so I really wonder now how many individuals identify as queer, and what does that really mean if you are queer? They say it's an umbrella term that describes individuals who aren't exclusively heterosexual. That's what they say it describes. So is it one of those terms that it's a blanket, an umbrella, like the other things that we mentioned? I don't really know. What do you guys think?
I am so confused when it comes to queer, especially when you consider gender queer, because I've heard that term a lot. But the people that I have seen personally who identify as, either queer or gender queer tend to be what's the word? I don't want to say confusing, but kind of androgynous.
Right.
They don't dress too masculine, they don't dress too feminine. They kind of have that androgynous look. So in my head, I tend to associate queer with androgyny, but it doesn't really sit well with me. So I don't really make that. I try not to make that association, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that as well. It's something that I'm just not 100% sure of, because as I mentioned, as I was growing up, the word queer is something that was derogatory, and because it has that, for some, that word is still derogatory. I think it should be used, like any kind of sexual orientation, when you're describing it or you're talking about it. you want to be sensitive and be respectful around
Right.
that word,
Mhm.
because it could mean something to someone of another generation and not to someone else. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Quick,
Okay.
quick question. Should we just,
Yeah.
okay, so I think what the appropriate thing for my Virgo brain is instead of trying to assume, like instead of assuming someone's pronouns, just ask them.
Ask them.
Yeah, that's true.
And it may not make any sense to you. And if it doesn't, like ask about it. Like just say, can you explain this to me so I can better understand where you're coming from, and I can, I don't want to say be filled with knowledge, but also be understanding to your situation so that I don't encroach upon your boundaries and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
That's fair.
You know, I think that's fair. And I think that hopefully, I hope that we're not afraid to ask questions, because we want to, I mean, I ask questions because I want to understand the individual. I want to know, have a level of relatability to them. So I'm asking things so that I can relate, to get to know them better and understand them. And I think that's what most of us, where we come from. We're not just trying to be nosy. It's about we're wanting to relate. So I
Yeah.
think you're absolutely right. Asking the question if you're not sure, in a respectful and sensitive way, because whenever you're talking about someone's sexuality and their orientation on this, whatever that spectrum, on the spectrum of sexuality orientation, you have to do it in a way that's respectful, and without any kind of shame or guilt. So that's a good point, Trees. So let's go into the next one. So romantic attraction, because you were like, okay, what's the difference between romantic and what's the other thing we said earlier? Oh, romantic something else.
Sexual? Or
Yes,
we talk,
attraction.
sexual and romantic. Yeah.
Yeah. So they break that down. The romantic attraction is the experience of having an emotional response that results in the desire for a romantic, but not necessarily sexual relationship or interaction with another party or with oneself. I could see that.
So when they mean not sexual, are they meaning not, skeet skeet, but we can still like hug and kiss and stuff?
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for people that just don't want, you're attracted to them, you love them, you love being around them, you have an emotional attraction, but you're not sexually attractive to them, or you're not sexually attracted to anyone, maybe. Or you're not attracted to that person, but you're still romantically attracted to them. So they break it down even further, so that people understand where they might fall in the orientation spectrum.
Okay, I see.
It's a lot to take in. It's definitely not easy.
My
right?
brain is heavy from all of this.
I know, right?
Like my brain is heavy. Like y'all see, like I'm literally sinking down. That's how much knowledge just jumped in my brain, and it's like literally putting me through my couch right now.
And I would say this next one is me. I hope I even say it right, because I didn't even know this was what I was until I looked at it. Sapiosexual.
Yes.
SAPIO sexual.
Yeah, I've heard sapio or sapiosexual. That's a person who loves knowledge.
Yes, a word used to describe those who experience attraction based on intelligence rather than sex or gender.
Mm-hmm. We like smart people around here.
I personally find a man that is brilliant or intellectually knowledgeable is such a big turn on. And so when you think about that, if you're thinking about a man who is older, who's accomplished, he has wisdom because he's older, he's accomplished a lot because he's been in the world doing things, he's making his money, he's brilliant. Is that considered a gold digger, or am I a sapiosexual? I like a smart man.
I think
it just happens, right?
I think that's sapiosexual, because in terms of a gold digger, in my head, this is my head only, a gold digger would be somebody who is only there for monetary gain. You're not there for monetary gain because you are attracted to the intelligence. That person just happens to have money.
Right. So I
And
think a
it's,
younger, I
yeah,
think
and
a
in some
younger
cases they don't
person,
have money, you know?
exactly. Yeah. I could see a younger person being a sapiosexual, that they're attracted to an older person, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that's intelligent, that has wisdom, that's lived and lived a life and gotten successful, and their intelligence made them successful. I could see a person, even a younger person, be attracted to that individual, and be misclassified as a gold digger, but perhaps they are sapiosexual. You know what I mean? That's just me thinking. That's a big term. That's a lot.
Tracy's
Look.
face says otherwise, and I want to know what's up.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about me and my crush on Egon Venkman from the Ghostbusters.
Kids. I ain't gonna lie, he was super cool. I was listening to that like, bruh.
It wasn't that he was good looking. It was
It's like,
that
is
he
this
was
why I like
smart.
science so much? Yeah, he was smart.
Smart. That's
Yeah.
what it was. And even now, even with my partners, it's hilarious because I'm like one of them. I literally call him Dada. Like your dad. And he's like, I love that. And it's the nerd. I love a smart, doesn't even have to be a man, it could be a woman, it could be anyone. I love a smart being. It does something to me, but that took me back to like, is that why you like Egon Venkman?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm questioning things over here.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I learn something, especially if it's either something positive or something really cool, doesn't matter who it is, it's gonna be a while before you get rid of me, because I'll be like, yo, I got questions. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Where
Like
you
this
going?
explains a lot of stuff. Like, one, I'm attracted to myself. 2, I like touching myself. 3, like, who am I? Who am I?
Who are you?
Help me. I'm lost in the sea of words. I don't know who I am anymore.
I know. They're gonna be like, what in the heck? I don't know, Brown Sugar. We is all over the place.
We're just gonna have to all redefine ourselves at this point. Hello, my name is X, and I am bam, 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 bam.
Or I'm not even going to label myself. I'm just going to say I'm a being on this 3-dimensional plane waiting to go to the 5th dimension.
Wait, doesn't that make you happens, like gray happens or whatever? No, Pomo. That makes you Pomo.
Like whatever.
You're Pomo now. You're injecting labels.
Yeah, I'm rejecting it all. Like whatever. Egon, I know you're dead, but I still.
You're pomosexual.
You're Pomo now.
I can't. There are too many things.
Here's the next one. Sex averse. Orientation. Sex averse orientation.
So your sex is your universe?
I was thinking metaverse, but
adverse, right?
Oh, sex adverse.
Adverse. I said adverse. What adverse? Yes.
I thought you said sex averse, like, you know, sex in universe.
I did, because I was thinking metaverse.
Dang. So
I said sex averse. What is adverse? So sex adverse describes those who are asexual and are averse to or extremely disinterested in sex or sexual behavior.
Oh.
Yes. So
no squishy for them.
No, they have no desire for any kind of sex or sexual behavior at all. They are a sex adverse orientation. Wow. Okay. All right. We're going to keep it going. We only got, you know what? There's so, oh Lord, what is this one? Okay. Is this the last one? Okay, wait a minute. Yes, because there's many more, but scoliosexual.
Who?
I know I didn't say it right. Scolio, SKOLIO sexual.
Scoliosexual, maybe?
Scoliosexual, SKOLIO sexual.
Scoliosexual?
Scoliosexual.
I think it's scolio.
Wait, you said SKO.
SKO.
Scolo.
Scolo.
So sexual. Maybe.
Scoliosexual.
Well,
put it in the chat.
If we don't know how to say it, we sure don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Yeah, just lay it on us. Lay it on us.
A sexual orientation that describes those who are sexually attracted to people with non-cisgender identity, such as people who are non-binary, genderqueer, or trans? What?
Scoliosexual.
I got it.
Scoliosexual?
Scoliosexual.
Scoliosexual. Okay, I'm gonna read it again because I don't even know what I just read. A sexual orientation that describes those who are sexually attracted to people with non-cisgender identities, such as those who are non-binary, genderqueer, or trans.
Binary.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, guys, I don't know about you, but guess what? We're out of time again. We can't even finish up this list. I'm only going to have another 3. We're only on the S's. But listen, if you're like us, we're all sitting here looking like we got fried eggs in our brain because we don't know what we just read.
My brain is heavy, y'all.
Yeah, and we're all confused about our own orientation right now. I think I figured out what I am. What did I say I was? I forgot.
You're omnisexual. That's what you are. You're omnisexual.
I'm not. Okay, I don't know what kind of sexual. I figured it out though. No, I'm that other one. But anyway, I'll figure that out after you. Sapio, yes, I'm a sapiosexual.
You're sapio. I feel like you're sapio omni. Omnisapio.
Oh all right. All right. Miss Teresa's totally don't know what she is. I'm confused. I need to go get my labels. I'm the alphabet. But listen, sure, it's not really important. But if you want to be educated about these orientations, if you're going to have a great conversation with other adults, and if your child is trying to identify who they are, this is a great resource. In all seriousness, to look at, to digest, to ask questions, to do your research. And of course, you know who we are. We are Brown Sugar Confessions. And this has been really a fun show. I hope you've enjoyed it. The co-host and I, thank you for tuning in. And next week, don't forget to listen to us next Wednesday at 11 o'clock as we talk about, what is it, Therese? What's our show next week?
Life after the big D.
Yeah, that's going to be heavy.
After the big D. That's going to be a good show, y'all. You don't want to miss it. So everyone, stay safe, play safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.